Hey everyone, welcome to the actual last class combination video, the Warder. I said the Blade Master is last, but I forgot the Warder. Someone actually posted in a comment that they were like, man, I wonder how many of these I'm going to be counting before I hear you say the Warder at the end of one. Well, it was all of them, because I totally forgot about this. I think it's because I did the Battle Mage and the Druid, and they're kind of like, they're not similar at all, but they're kind of along those lines, and I was like, yeah, I did the Warder in my head, didn't actually do it. So here we go. The Warder is the Soldier Shaman combination, and I think the Warder is probably maybe the best tank in the game. I say this because I have a friend named Riley Hatch who is in the Steam group in the guild, who has a Warder that broke 20k hit points. That's a lot of hit points. I think maybe the Warder can get more hit points than any other class combination. And I think the only things that could tank better in different ways are maybe a Conjurer with its Lifesteal or a Spellbreaker with its Avoidance in Maven Sphere. Maybe a Battle Mage can be a really great tank as well. But the Warder can tank like a mofo. So, the first synergy though, we'll talk about that. The main reason they can do this is military conditioning is health and physique, which is essentially health and defense. And the Heart of the Wild ability is just percent health. You combine these two things together, you get a lot of health. You can also work in Fighting Spirit, or no, Mainer's Will, because you're probably going to be using a two-hander, and you have this heal, so when you get down to, like, what? 4,000-ish health? Some obscenely low, like 5,000, 6,000 health, I think it would be. 30% health is, like, normal health for every other class. You frickin' heal. It's pretty awesome, in all honesty. So yeah, the first synergy would be health. The other main synergy that jumps, like, straight up to the top of the list is two-handers. Specifically using Primal Strike or Savagery if you're so inclined with its little Might of the Bear modifier. But Primal Strike with either Thunderous Strike, with Brute Force. Actually, I don't think Brute Force can, but Feral Hunger won't proc off of Primal Strike. Neither will Upheaval. But yeah, you could use Brute Force at least to get that extra damage in there. Or you could even do, like, that's the lightning damage way to do it. You could even do a bleed damage version where you have Blade Arc maybe set to its cooldown, so you have basic attacks rotating in there. With Brute Force, with Feral Hunger, and Upheaval. And then, I mean, you could also do Force Wave with a two-hander with Tremor. You wouldn't be able to use these two, but I mean, I could see doing auto attacks with Blade Arc worked in there, and then have like Markovi's Advantage and Zulhan's Technique proccing off those. I could see you doing that with Savagery too, and then use Primal Strike on its cooldown ability. There are a lot of ways you can approach a two-hander Warder, and I think that's the main build. I honestly think the two-hander Warder is probably the main Warder build. Otherwise, you're probably just going to be building kind of a usual Shaman or Soldier. This might be one of those things that could pull off hybrid. I don't know. I mean, hybrid between, you do things and your pets do things. You could probably work in Wind Devils and Totems and stuff into this type of build, using the Soldier for its defensive things. And then, I mean, like, you might be able to work Cadence in there. You have a ton of exclusive skills to choose from. You have Illyrian's Rage or Maynard's Bulwark if you're using a shield. Shaman or Stormcaller's Pact or Primal Bond. I mean, you have a lot of options for those. Whether or not you want to take everything to 50 on either of the classes is also an option. With your super high amount of health, you can actually get a ton of elemental resistance, and then the bleed resistance here, and the pierce resistance here. So there are good resistance sets in here as well. All around, and I mean, obviously you're going to throw field command and squad tactics in there. There's just a lot of really awesome combinations of abilities you can do with this that are mostly going to be a two-hander class. Mew could maybe get away with sword and boarding. Probably not going to dual wield at all. Usual things apply, like Warcry is really great just in general. Cadence with its elemental conversion might be good if you're doing like maybe Cadence as your main attack and then you're using Primal Strike on its cooldown. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can take a two-hander build here. Probably melee or ranged. You could do melee or ranged because excuse me. Yeah, you could do Might of the Bear, and you could basically do like Cadence ranged. I don't think Tremor works. Blitz doesn't work. Yeah, you would end up using like these two, maybe ranged or Cadence ranged. I mean, you could do ranged or melee two-handers, or ranged or melee one-hander and a shield. There's a lot of options for this character for making a crazy ass tank. It's probably a really easy character to pick up and play too, because it's basically like you have 3 ability options, and then you're just putting everything else in defenses. So that is more or less the Warder. Really, really solid tank. Just face tanking. You're just gonna stand there and like your health's gonna go down, but you're not gonna be caring, because like by the time you're down to like the health a mage has, it's like everything's gonna be dead. It's just a really awesome, really solid class combination. I'd probably put it upper on the tier list, like B+ tier. It's in that set of like Commando, Witchblade, Battle Mage, where it's like you just combine really well together with the Soldier, and then you have a really solid class. So that is going to be the Warder, and that's going to be really this time all of the class combinations for this Grim Dawn Basic series. Up next, I am going to be doing a video on 1-point wonders and then going into talking about devotion constellations. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.